Nope.
Hi, everybody. We're back. I'm Shannon. I want to thank you for joining us. I'm hoping that you guys are out there. Shoot us a heart, thumbs up, a little comment so we know you're out there. And as you can see, we have a bunch of us. We figured out our technical difficulties from last time. And we're going to talk about Mother's Day. And we were a little cheeky in our promotional materials about how much it can suck. But hopefully we can come up with some solutions for that. So let's get going. And today we have with us again the wonderful Lisa Tremaine, who is the president of the Bloom Foundation, our fearless leader. She is the mom of triplets and is a survivor and sufferer of postpartum anxiety, right, Lisa?
And I'm a mother of 4 because Caroline came too.
Oh, right. There are 4 kids altogether. And then next we have Samantha Bevins, right?
Bevin and Jared.
Okay. And Sam has 3 kids, and she suffered and is a survivor of postpartum OCD, and she runs a support group in Pennsylvania. And then Meg, and I will get this right, Santa Sanita.
Close enough.
Oh, right? Is a high school teacher. Meg has 2 kids, and she suffered from postpartum anxiety and is also a support group facilitator. We are all part of the Bloom Foundation. So let me stop talking and get to you guys. And we got to this point because Lisa and I were talking earlier in the week about how to prepare for Mother's Day, depending upon where you are, what you've been through. And the first thing that Lisa, and I'm going to let you start off the show, the first thing she said to me was that you discuss this a lot in your support group, and this is mainly what you discussed this week. And let's just dig right into, and I feel so guilty saying this, but we're going to go for it, the disappointment that is inherently attached to Mother's Day.
And I think, and I know Sam will be able to have her, I mean, we do the exact same thing. Sam does what I do in Pennsylvania so stealthily, and she supports so many women and has for the exact same number of years that I've done it. So she's a champion. So she'll be able to give her part too. And I know we all talked about it. And this week, definitely, I brought flowers in from Trader Joe's. We went and I got flowers that they were going to throw away. And
for your moms in your support group.
Yeah. And they were like, and I do remember that feeling, like, I don't know about you guys, but just like one mom said, I'm going to bring these home. So I couldn't figure out a way to tell my husband this Sunday is Mother's Day. And I know that he'll feel bad if it passes and he doesn't remember. And their baby's only, 5 weeks old. So they're in the throes of it, but she like saw that as a way to say something. And we talked about how the first Mother's Day, especially, is like New Year's Eve for single people. Like, there's no way it's going to measure up to New Year's Eve in your head. Nothing good is, it can't. So if you set your expectations so low to like, God bless you or thank you, then anything you get is a bonus. And
I'm sorry to interrupt you. And when you said set your expectations so low, I mean, is that fair? Sam, do you feel like do you see the same thing in your group? Is that how you kind of proposed it?
I do see that. And I hate to say set them low because that almost sounds like,
I know,
you're giving your partner the out. But it's like anything in life. If you expect here and you get anything above that, it's a grand thing. And we had talked a little bit about just wanting to be appreciated. So if it's just even a matter of, man, honey, I appreciate everything you do for our family, that can be, way above anything you're expecting. So we do talk about that.
Okay. And Meg, again, I'm assuming you guys do as well, and I don't know why I have a problem with this, but I kind of do. I mean, moms work so hard, and I guess setting your expectations low is it logical? Is it's a way to protect yourself from the disappointment? But do you think there's other things that maybe we could do to get what we?
I don't think it's necessarily that you want nothing, or that you're expecting nothing. But I do think it's important to manage your expectations and not try to cram every Mother's Day activity in, where you start with brunch at, making brunch for 12, and then you're, going from this place to this place to this place, and then dinner at the other side of the family. That's just too much. I think one thing we talk about is kind of building in time for yourself a little bit, so that you have some downtime. Almost, I like to treat myself like a toddler sometimes. Make sure I have time, make sure I'm fed, make sure I'm well rested and not overscheduled. Because I think that leads, at least for me, to kind of raises my anxiety level for the day. And that's really not what I want on a day like Mother's Day, especially.
Okay.
And I don't think
that's the group. Go ahead.
I don't think there needs to be a bad connotation to saying set your expectations low. I think that is maybe being realistic is another way to put it. I mean, if it's your first baby and your first holiday and things haven't been going that well, whether you're just a mom adjusting to being a new mom, or that you are suffering from any of the adjustment disorders, maybe that day did kind of get lost, and it's not a holiday that everyone around you, partner, husband, has been used to celebrating. So I think if we set it realistically or set it low and ask for what we really want, then maybe we can all be happy.
And you mentioned the adjustment disorders, and let's talk about that now, Lisa. Should women who have suffered or are currently suffering from a maternal mental health disorder, approach this holiday differently, or are there things, and I'll ask all of you, that they can put in place to perhaps protect them? And I'm going to ask one more question so you guys can go and I'll be quiet. Is PTSD a part of this? Because maybe the year before, women who had suffered weren't really in the mind space. So.
I think that Mother's Day too has the same sort of luminous expectation that the baby's first birthday does. So if you're in the throes of it and you just, it's a day, like you don't want to remember it. You don't feel like you deserve it. You don't feel like you're worthy, or even really, maybe you don't even want to be present and in that all freaking happiness all day. Maybe you would just rather be in your room and have some time. You're not in it. But the mom you are today, or that Mother's Day, is not the mom you're going to be next Mother's Day or on the next birthday. So don't put that much pressure on yourself that this is the be all end all. It's just a day.
Okay. And ladies?
Sam?
Anything to add to that?
No, I mean, I agree with that. And a little bit when we were talking about how to not schedule, and I think Meg was saying not schedule it all the way through. I was thinking about, for Father's Day, kind of put it on the reverse. Like, how would you feel if you were the one who had to follow all of those steps that, you got to take Dad to this and do all these things. I mean, it's too much for one person, and to expect, if your partner expected that of you, you would feel completely overwhelmed. So to remember that on the flip side, for whomever is doing this for you, to kind of keep that in the back of your mind a little bit, if that makes any sense. It's unrealistic, and you're setting yourself up almost for disappointment if you're going to put it all that much. But yeah, I mean, there was a time when you didn't want it. For me, I thought, why did I do this? What did I get myself into? When I became a mother and was going through all of this, and I didn't even want to acknowledge the day. So it's a little, and if that's where you're at, right, that's fine, because it's not where you're going to be at next time.
You didn't want to acknowledge the day. So did you tell your husband that I don't want anything? Like let's pretend it's not happening, or that was just your internal struggle?
I think he knew, because I was open with him about the whole struggle. I didn't specifically say, let's just not acknowledge it, but I almost dreaded it a little bit, because it's just like when you give birth. Isn't this great? And isn't it lovely? And you're internally thinking, no, this is awful what I'm going through. Same thing, like, oh, it's your first Mother's Day. You're going to get the card and the flowers, and let's do the brunch. And really, you're not feeling that way inside. So it's a little hard to vocalize that to everybody, because everybody puts that expectation on you that you're going to love it and it's going to be this big thing.
And
so,
we had asked on our page, and I'm going to address this to you, Meg, because you made a comment before we became live, and I thought this was an overriding sentiment. What do you want for Mother's Day? And you guys out there, and quietly and in public said, should I repeat what Sam calls it? Leave me the F alone day. Leave me alone. I want to be by myself. Leave me alone. But yeah, you mentioned that's not what you wanted.
It's not. And I don't know. I think part of it is that I spend a lot of time working outside of the home. So I do want to spend the time with my kids. In my mind, I still struggle with expectations because I want everyone to be really well behaved and happy all day, which is kind of hard expectations to put on a 4 and a 6-year-old. But what I like to do is have my husband really be the one who plans the day, because typically I'm the one.
Oh my gosh, isn't that where the disappointment comes in?
but I want him to just plan something small, like, okay, maybe let's go to the aquarium. But when we were little, when the kids were little, I would say, you pack the diaper bag, you get the kids dressed, you do that. I'm going to be the one who just shows up. I'll be outside. I'll be ready in the car. And I just want to like show up, but I do want to spend the time with my kids and doing something that the kids are going to enjoy, because I do want to see them having a great time. Now we like to go and get a light breakfast. I mean, like a muffin, and walk the boardwalk because we're not too far from the beach if the weather is nice. And then we'll come back and I'll maybe get started on a garden outside, which probably means the kids will play outside and I'll get to work on it a little bit because that's something that I enjoy. But not that, we need to schedule it. Honestly, we're probably in the minority that we don't really see either set of grandparents on Mother's Day. We spend it as our little family. And I make sure that, I call and the kids call and we FaceTime. But typically on Mother's Day, we really cherish that time for us so that we don't overextend ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then let's continue on that, because we talked about, or we quoted this as, we're going to tell you how not to have a sucky Mother's Day. And I think, Meg, you hit on it a little bit just now. And I know what I was planning on doing this Mother's Day was basically planning it all myself and saying, this is how it's going. And this is it. Because then I knew it will go.
And that's yeah, exactly. Like, it's not, there's so many ways to get to the same place. And I think that, we put so much pressure on ourselves to match what is on Instagram and Facebook and my best friend and the one that's going to be like the humble bragger. Like, screw that. How do you know they're just not even lying and they're just not miserable, miserable bitches? And it can suck. If you have 3 toddlers, that's not a fun day. That's not a fun day. And but now I have 3 19-year-olds and they serve me and I kind of like it. But when there were 3 2-year-olds, not so much. No, not so much. I was that mom every day. So I needed someone to be like, why don't you leave? That was all I wanted. It had nothing to do with the kids. It had to do with the husband. I just wanted him to enjoy that.
Okay, so you wanted someone to say, why don't you leave?
Yep.
They may not say that because, again, as women, and I think maybe, Sam, you could talk about this, we internalize and we keep our little voice in our head of what we want and expect our spouse or our partner to read our minds, pick up those little hints that we drop. And isn't it just better off to protect yourself by listing it out? This is exactly how it goes. This is what I need.
What's interesting in our group, not necessarily related to Mother's Day, but just in general, we talk a lot about I shouldn't have to tell him, right?
Yep.
And I was like that, and then you huff and you puff, and then you slam the door thinking they're going to get it. And my husband would say to me, just tell me. And I shouldn't have to tell you. But when I just started telling him, it was like, we barely fight. There's nothing to fight. Hey, can you feed the cats? Sure. Okay, it's done. There's no like, I used to say, the cats are going to stick dead to the floor if you don't feed them sooner or later. They're down there crying for food for 3 days. But now you just ask. It's the same thing to me. Like, he would have no problem saying, hey, I want that hammock for Father's Day. Perfect. I'll get on Amazon. It'll be here in 2 days. Bing, bang, boom. Why can't we as mothers do that? I think that goes way back somewhere, that we can't just say, we want you to know that the trashie's taken out every Tuesday to the road, but same thing. We want you to know that I dropped a hint about that Etsy ring 6 months ago. Remember, it's just.
Oh, I just thought of something else too. I told a mom, like I was just texting with, it wasn't even in group, when she was saying something about how could she ask? Like she almost felt shy, like for what she wanted. And I said, well, I just put things in the Amazon wish list cart and then they appear. It's really nice. So if you like even something, it's sort of like that day we talked about the Post-it notes, like only listing 1 or 2 things, like that is so silly. And yet it's so like, I love getting my lipstick for no good reason 2 weeks later, which is so just shallow and stupid, but it makes you feel like someone saw, oh, that was
it's appreciation. This is what it comes down to, right?
Yep. Right. So everyone should put something in their Amazon wish list that you want. That's not a bad idea.
And it's not as if you have to have, like, for us, like I say, oh, maybe this would be nice. But then the kids also go pick out a thing, and it could be completely ridiculous. One year I got a water sprinkler, like they can run through, and so it was for me. They picked it out, but it was for them, and that was okay because I got this nice other stuff. But so there's that. I think sometimes you feel like you don't want to be, look, I bought my own Mother's Day present, but you could pick the thing you like and then still have the other bits that are the sentimental little card and the macaroni necklace and all that stuff that they do.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to basically the communication, asking for what you need. And even if it's, I need to sleep in, and that's a big one, especially if you have little kids.
I want to go to the bathroom alone all day. No hands under the door. No, your mom is in the bathroom. I'm going to just go up there like the king I am and just go in the bathroom. I know. I mean, and the other thing that you brought up, Meg, is good too, is the other mothers. So is it your Mother's Day or is it your Mother's Day, mother's mother, or is it your mother-in-law's day? And how all that gets very
complicated.
Yeah.
Well, and I do feel badly that we can't see everybody for every day, but that's every holiday. We can't see every single person on Christmas. We can't see everybody on Thanksgiving. We're on Father's Day, and we have 2 grandpas that we would love to see. I think, I know I've had a heart-to-heart with my mom about it. She said, like, look, your kids are little. You're in the thick of it. Take the day for you, and we can get together another day. It doesn't have to be on Mother's Day, at least with my mom. And my mother-in-law has been awesome, understanding as well that we can't ever see everybody, for every holiday. So this is what works for us. I think so far.
And I think that goes back to almost saying again, aiming low. So when you said, you just get cranky kids as a gift. If you're just dragging them from place to place to present and show your mom, look at me on Mother's Day, look at my mother-in-law, look at these kids. And then they're hungry and they're tired and you're not taking care of anybody. So yeah, who are you celebrating or who are you even acknowledging that day? If you're just, taking them from place to place, showing what a mother you are when your gift is overtired kids. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I see Candace just commented, she has a whole bunch of stops to make too. And that it can be hard. It can be really, really hard to make all those stops. But I think, some people say the alternative is hosting brunch. And to me, that sounds like a nightmare. So
it sounds like a
roadshow.
I mean, that's working all day, isn't it? That's getting up early but
cleaning.
But in that sense, there are a lot of people, and I know I'm one of them, that I making sure, and obviously I have a very different Mother's Day this year because it's the first year my mother's not with us. But even in the past, the way I chose to get through it was to make sure I was super busy all day. Because if I did have the downtime and I started to think about maybe the disappointment, it would fester. So maybe a brunch, like Candace says, she's doing a brunch. You know, some people need that constant movement to move through the day.
Yeah.
With sanity. So I think it really comes down to knowing what's best for yourself and then communicating it. Don't you agree?
Mm-hmm. And I think that there's, in group this week, maybe, I don't know, 10 moms and everybody, there was a Meg. I love doing that. Do you do that, Sam, when like you have a name in there? There was a Meg who she's like, I am at work, so I want to be with my baby, but I want to be only with my husband and my baby. So that works for me. And she has a living mother and a living mother-in-law. And she's like, we'll see you next week. Thanks for coming. And she like put that hard and fast rule in place. We are the type of people, mothers and new mothers with adjustment disorder, that are so empathetic that we're so going to not make ourselves even in the picture by keeping everybody else happy. And it's really okay. I mean, it's taken us years. I don't know, are you guys even there? I'm so far out that I do say what works for me. I am hosting brunch because that I'm here and I can control everything right from here. And I like that more than just it like, everywhere else.
And I think it's hard, it's great, Meg, that you can say that, but there are some moms that won't take that, for an answer, that they will say, no, I was your mother and you're going to do this. And I think if you kind of gauge where you're at, like if you know that that's a situation you're in with your mother or your mother-in-law, I mean, it's easier said than done. It is just a day. Like for me, let's do Valentine's Day 2 days later. All the candy's on sale. Hoist the candy for me. Same with Mother's Day. Why can't it be the next? It shouldn't have to be that way, but it might save you the heartache and the grief if you're like, we got to go see these people this day, but next weekend is all me. Plus, I get Sunday. I'm getting both. I'm getting Saturday, Sunday. I'm getting everything.
And that's true. Why can't we just do that? It is just a day that Hallmark said is the second Sunday of May. They're so smart. So why can't we just take the power away from it? Like so many things, and say, when I was a young mom, my sister's a nurse, I'm a nurse, and my brother's in TV. I don't think I ever saw Christmas on December 25th, ever. We would do like December 28th and December 23rd. And my mother was like insane, but it totally worked and it didn't bother anybody.
So I want you ladies to address Jacqueline's question. I don't know if you had
I saw that. It says that when she was pregnant, her husband said they couldn't celebrate Mother's Day because she wasn't even a mother yet. What's interesting is the same comment can go the other way, which is when I've heard people say that the husbands or partners say, well, you're not my mother. Okay, really? I gave birth to I'm not your mother? Like
you grew their people.
I made a person. Celebrate me.
So the answer to that would be no, that's not acceptable.
No, it's not acceptable. But also, don't we? I mean, it's a very deep question, actually. And you're young, bless your heart. Like we teach people how to treat us and what we will accept.
Comment, yeah.
So you're a young mom in a young marriage. So, this is your time to very, very kindly say, this is what I want. This is the kind of marriage I want, the kind of partner I want, the kind of husband I want. I am a mother. I'm not your mother, and I wasn't when I was pregnant, but, set that up.
We teach people how to treat us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I was concerned when we started this broadcast, and we all talked about this previously. I'm like, I don't want this to turn into a bitch session, because that's not what it is. And I think we made that clear that it's about communicating, and it's about, knowing what you want and allowing the people around you to understand that and communicating it clearly. And I think if you do that, and I'm sure you've all said it, it will be an easier road to ride on. Yeah. So I want to kind of wrap it up. I don't think we have anything. I don't think we missed anything. If we did, please yell at me. But before we wrap it up, I'd love for you guys to say Happy Mother's Day to your moms.
Oh, Shannon. Yeah. Oh, you're going to make me cry.
No.
Yeah, because I can't not think of Gretchen.
Okay. All right. So Happy Mother's Day. Yes, Gretchen is, she's with us.
I know.
You right now.
She's so with you. I just can't even tell you how much you embody her. But She was my other mother, and I will miss her this year too.
Okay. Well, say Happy Mother's Day to your mother, Arlene.
Happy Mother's Day, R.
Sam?
Oh, my poor mom is going to be on Facebook like, what is this? Oh, bless her heart. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. She's actually upstairs corralling the children right now, so shout upstairs. But
my mom's not on Facebook, but my dad is, and she stalks through his account. So happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Of course. Well, happy Mother's Day to all of you ladies, and thank you, and enjoy the day. And do what you need to do for yourself. And everybody out there, do what you need to do for yourself, but tell the people around you what it is.
And it's much bigger in our heads, I think, than in our hearts. When you finally do say anything to somebody about what you want or what you need, it's so huge to us. And when they say it, they're like, okay, you just wanted IHOP? Let's go. Like, it's not that big a deal. And I think you'll be relieved. And yeah, exactly, Kate. You know, that's the ownership part where you kind of are saying that's what I want or need. And definitely happy Mother's Day to all the women who are perceiving this as not a really great day. Don't have it. Don't do it. There'll be another one next year. Samantha, what do you tell them when they say that?
Oh, same. If there's always next year. And chances are when you speak up, it seems like this big daunting task. But once you put it out there once, not as if this is going to be a conversation every Mother's Day. 9 times out of 10, you know, like you're going to say it, this is what I need for Mother's Day. And then this will continue. So it's one time you got to get up the gusto and do what you need to, but then the tradition continues the way you want it to.
Alrighty. Yep. Thank you, ladies.
Oh, I got one more. And if moms want to say, I do. I always have one more.
No, you're wonderful.
And if moms want to say in their comments, like any suggestions, even to help each other. I think that's so much what I want the page to be. Like what worked for you, like what Sam and I just said, you know, like it's not Trump Tower, it's IHOP. Like we're really not aiming that high. So what worked for you, or how did you say it, or what was your best Mother's Day, or, you know, if you're opting out of Mother's Day this year, I'm proud of you. I think that's awesome. So comment and tell us, and I'm glad you guys were here. Thank you, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.